Did you know that the average person negotiates something every day, whether they realize it or not? From deciding where to go for dinner to closing a business deal, negotiation is a skill we all use. Yet, despite its importance, many leaders underestimate the impact of mastering this art. Here's a surprising fact. According to a study by Carnegie Mellon University, 57% of people never even try to negotiate their salaries. That's leaving thousands, if not millions, of dollars on the table over a lifetime. Even more startling, research from McKinsey shows that companies with strong negotiation skills are 30% more profitable than those without. So, why aren't more leaders focusing on this critical skill? In this video, we're diving deep into the world of negotiation, but not in the way you might expect. We're going beyond the basics. You'll learn about strategies that most people overlook, like the silent power of pauses, the subtle cues in body language, and how empathy can turn conflict into collaboration. We'll also uncover how to adapt on the fly and influence without crossing ethical lines. If you're ready to transform the way you approach negotiations and lead with confidence, keep watching. Each chapter will arm you with essential tools to elevate your leadership and negotiation game. Trust me, these aren't your run-of-the-mill tips. They're strategies that can truly make a difference. So, are you ready to become a negotiation master? Let's get started. Chapter 1. The Power of Empathy. Unlocking Hidden Perspectives. Empathy isn't just about feeling someone else's emotions, it's about understanding their perspective. Leaders who master this skill can turn conflicts into collaboration. A study from Harvard Business Review found that 58% of managers who effectively used empathy reduced conflict significantly in their teams. Why? Because people feel heard and valued. In negotiation, empathy helps you see the situation through the eyes of the other party. Stephen Covey, in his book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about the importance of seeking first to understand, then to be understood. This principle is a game changer in negotiations. Listening is a key part of empathy. But not just any listening, active listening. This means fully focusing on the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. Research shows that 74% of people are more likely to share information when they feel they're being actively listened to. Consider using mirroring techniques, where you repeat back what the other person says in your own words. This shows you're engaged and helps clarify their position. It's a simple trick but highly effective. Empathy also involves recognizing nonverbal cues, such as body language or tone of voice. These cues often reveal what someone isn't saying outright. By picking up on these signals, you can better navigate the emotional landscape of a negotiation. But empathy isn't just about understanding, it's about responding appropriately. It's about validating the other person's feelings and finding common ground. When both sides feel understood, they're more likely to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. In practice, this might mean acknowledging the other person's concerns before presenting your own position. For example, I see that this deadline is a concern for you. Let's find a way to meet it without compromising quality. This approach can diffuse tension and pave the way for a productive dialogue. Empathy, at its core, is about building trust. And trust is the foundation of any successful negotiation. So, before you dive into a negotiation, take a moment to put yourself in the other person's shoes. It's a small step that can lead to big results. Chapter 2. The Silent Strategy. Mastering Nonverbal Communication. They say actions speak louder than words, and in negotiation, this couldn't be more true. Nonverbal communication, your body language, facial expressions, and even your posture, can significantly impact the outcome of a negotiation. Studies show that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal. Albert Mehrabian, a pioneer in body language research, found that 55% of communication is through body language, 38% through tone of voice, and only 7% through words. This means that how you present yourself physically can often say more than what you actually say. Take eye contact, for example. Maintaining steady eye contact can convey confidence and sincerity. But there's a balance. Too much can seem aggressive, while too little might make you appear untrustworthy. The key is to be natural and attentive. Your posture also sends a message. Standing or sitting up straight shows confidence and control, while slouching can suggest insecurity or disinterest. Even the way you hold your hands can matter. Keeping them visible suggests openness, while hiding them might signal defensiveness. Another subtle yet powerful nonverbal cue is your tone of voice. The same words can have different meanings depending on how they're delivered. A calm, steady tone can de-escalate tension, while a sharp, quick tone might do the opposite. Mirroring the other person's body language is another effective strategy. It creates a sense of rapport and can subconsciously make the other party feel more comfortable. But be careful, this needs to be subtle, or it might come off as mocking. Nonverbal communication isn't just about what you do, though, it's also about reading the other person's cues. If they're crossing their arms, they might be feeling defensive. If they're leaning in, they're probably engaged. Recognizing these signals can help you adjust your approach in real time. In negotiation, silence can also be a powerful tool. Sometimes, saying nothing at all forces the other party to reveal more or reconsider their position. This tactic, known as the silent pause, can make your counterpart feel uncomfortable enough to fill the silence with additional information. In conclusion, nonverbal communication is a silent yet powerful strategy in negotiation. It can either strengthen your position or weaken it, depending on how well you use it. By being mindful of both your own body language and that of the other party, you can gain an edge in any negotiation. Chapter 3. Framing the narrative. Shaping perceptions to win. The way you present your ideas in a negotiation can be just as important as the ideas themselves. This is where framing comes into play. Framing is all about how you package information to make it more appealing or persuasive to the other party. Consider this. People are twice as likely to avoid losses as they are to pursue gains. This phenomenon, known as loss aversion, was identified by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. By framing your proposals in a way that highlights potential losses rather than gains, you can create a sense of urgency and push the other party toward a decision. For instance, instead of saying, "If we collaborate, we can increase our market share," try, "If we don't collaborate, we risk losing market share to competitors." The second statement is more likely to spur action because it taps into the natural human fear of loss. Another framing technique is to present your offer as the best among limited options. People prefer making decisions when they have fewer choices, a concept known as the paradox of choice. By framing your proposal as one of the only viable options, you make it easier for the other party to say yes. Using contrast is also a powerful way to frame your negotiation. Presenting a less favorable option first makes your actual proposal seem more reasonable. This tactic, known as anchoring, can set the stage for a more successful negotiation. Storytelling is another effective framing tool. A well-told story can make your points more relatable and memorable. For example, instead of just presenting data, share a case study of how your proposal has worked in the past. This not only adds credibility but also engages the other party on an emotional level. Framing isn't about manipulation, it's about guiding the narrative in a way that makes your position more compelling. It's about presenting information in the most advantageous light without altering the facts. This ethical approach ensures that you maintain trust while still advancing your interests. In the end, how you frame your narrative can be the difference between a successful negotiation and a missed opportunity. So, take the time to carefully consider not just what you say, but how you say it. With the right framing, you can shape perceptions and drive negotiations to a favorable outcome. If you're finding this video useful, subscribe and let's get back to the exciting stuff. Chapter 4. The Patience Principle. Winning through strategic pauses. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a powerful negotiation tool. When used correctly, strategic pauses can shift the dynamics of a conversation in your favor. In negotiations, silence often speaks louder than words. A well-timed pause can make the other party uncomfortable, prompting them to fill the silence with more information or even a concession. Research from the Harvard program on negotiation found that negotiators who used silence strategically were more likely to extract valuable insights and better offers from their counterparts. But patience isn't just about waiting for the right moment to speak. It's also about resisting the urge to respond immediately. Quick reactions can lead to hasty decisions or missed opportunities. Instead, take a moment to consider the other person's position, the stakes involved, and the best response. One of the most effective ways to use patience is during the initial stages of a negotiation. Let the other party make the first offer. This gives you a clearer idea of their expectations and sets a benchmark for the discussion. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, making the first offer can anchor the negotiation in your favor, but only if you're well prepared. If you're not, it's better to let the other side reveal their cards first. Another tactic is to use silence after making an offer. This is called the silent close. After presenting your terms, don't rush to justify or explain them. Instead, let the silence work for you. The other party may feel compelled to accept or at least provide a counteroffer. Patience also involves knowing when to take breaks. If a negotiation is becoming tense or reaching a deadlock, suggesting a break can be a wise move. It allows both sides to cool off, reflect, and come back with a fresh perspective. Often, this can lead to breakthroughs that wouldn't have happened in the heat of the moment. Understanding cultural differences is crucial too. In some cultures, like Japan, silence is a respected part of communication. Pausing to think before responding is seen as a sign of thoughtfulness and respect. In other cultures, however, prolonged silence might be perceived as discomfort or indecision. Knowing your counterpart's cultural background can help you use silence effectively without miscommunication. Patience requires practice, especially in high-pressure situations. But when mastered, it can be a subtle yet powerful tool in your negotiation arsenal. The next time you're at the table, remember that sometimes saying nothing at all can be your most persuasive tactic. Chapter 5. Emotional Alchemy. Turning tension into trust. In any negotiation, emotions run high. But leaders who can turn these emotions into a positive force often come out on top. Emotional intelligence, particularly the ability to manage and leverage emotions, can transform tension into trust. Daniel Goleman, in his book Emotional Intelligence, argues that EQ, emotional intelligence, can be even more important than IQ in determining success. This is especially true in negotiations, where understanding and managing emotions can lead to better outcomes. When tensions rise, it's easy to react defensively. But reacting with calmness and empathy can diffuse the situation and open up new paths for dialogue. According to the American Psychological Association, people are more likely to trust someone who remains calm and composed under pressure. Trust, in turn, is the cornerstone of any successful negotiation. One effective strategy is to acknowledge the other party's emotions. Statements like, "I can see this issue is important to you," or "I understand this situation is frustrating," can validate their feelings and build rapport. This isn't about agreeing with them, it's about showing you're paying attention to their emotional state. You can also use your own emotions to influence the negotiation. Expressing genuine enthusiasm or concern can help convey your commitment to finding a solution. But be careful, emotions should be managed, not manipulated. Overplaying your hand can backfire, making you seem insincere. Another key aspect of emotional alchemy is maintaining emotional distance. This doesn't mean being cold or detached, but rather staying objective and not taking things personally. Keeping a level head allows you to think more clearly and make decisions based on logic rather than emotion. In high-stakes negotiations, it's easy to get caught up in the moment. But taking a step back to breathe and refocus can prevent you from making impulsive decisions. This is where mindfulness techniques, like deep breathing or short meditation, can be incredibly helpful. Studies have shown that mindfulness can reduce stress and increase your ability to manage emotions, making it a valuable tool in your negotiation toolkit. Another tactic is to turn negative emotions into a constructive dialogue. For example, if the other party is angry, instead of shutting down or retaliating, ask them to elaborate. "Can you tell me more about why this issue is so upsetting?" This not only shows empathy but also helps you gather more information that could be crucial to resolving the conflict. In the end, emotional alchemy is about transforming potential roadblocks into opportunities for connection and understanding. By managing your own emotions and responding effectively to those of others, you can build trust and guide the negotiation toward a positive outcome. Join our journey by subscribing to the channel and never miss out on our latest uploads.